This week has been a busy one in terms of Disney park news. We've had some big news stories and we've had some small news stories. And while I usually dedicate a video to a single news story or topic, I'm breaking with tradition today as I'm going to tackle multiple topics in a single video, ranging from Tiana's Bayou adventure in Disneyland to those nightmarish ticket price increases at Disney World, as well as some Disney Cruise Line updates. And then I'm going to end with dessert. And yes, I mean that, we're actually ending with dessert. But first, I'm going to start with a question, which is whether Disneyland's Tiana's Bayou Adventure is actually better than Disney World's. So Disneyland's Tiana's Bayou Adventure is confirmed to open on November 15th, but previews are already well underway, and that means we have new ride footage. As expected, Disneyland's Tiana's is very much like the Magic Kingdom's. We have the same audio animatronics, the same set pieces, same music, same story. However, from what I'm seeing and hearing, Disneyland's version may be the superior one, and for a very interesting reason. So the ride path of Disneyland's Tiana's Bayou Adventure, just like its Splash Mountain, actually winds around show scenes and audio animatronics instead of floating just past them. As a result, there's less blank space and dark corners. Granted, some is still there, which is unfortunate, but guests are seeing more of the new audio animatronics than they can at Disney World. I've also noticed their placement is a bit different at Disneyland than it is at the Magic Kingdoms, but something else that's actually improving the ride is its speed. Disneyland's log ride vehicles have single file seating instead of side-by-side arrangement, and guests are moving faster through the attraction than they do at the Magic Kingdoms, which also cuts down on the time spent with those just empty spaces. And anytime something's more thrilling, it usually improves guest satisfaction. For a full breakdown of the differences between the two Tiana's Bayou adventures, I highly recommend Tom Bricker's review on the Disney Tourist blog. He explains this all incredibly well and in a very entertaining way. But I think Disneyland's superior Tiana's Bayou adventure is due to Walt Disney Imagineering being located in California, and they're using Disneyland's version as the model for the attraction, not the Magic Kingdom's. I also think this is why Disney should not be copying and pasting rides in their parks. Whole replication is simply not possible due to the geographical differences between parks as well as differences in infrastructure. But if Disney is determined to copy rides, they should at least set out to do something unique or different at each location. Not only would this give guests a reason to ride regardless of which park that they're in, but it would prevent these kind of direct comparisons where there's always going to be a slightly inferior version. My next topic today is a new look at Marvel ride vehicles. As I covered in a recent video, Disney dropped all kinds of news about the Disney Adventure. This is Disney Cruise Line's first megaship setting sail in 2025, and one of the most intriguing things about this ship is that it has an entire deck dedicated to the MCU called Marvel Landing, and it comes with 3 actual rides at sea: the Iron Cycle Test Run, the PIM Quantum Racers, and the Groot Galaxy Spin. I said in my video that these rides did not look that impressive to me. They looked very generic, and I'm wondering if Disney felt the same, because just a day or two after all the Disney Adventure news, Imagineering unveiled a closer look at their designs for the ride vehicle. And I think they're a huge improvement, and this is why I wanted to share them with you. For instance, we have the Iron Cycle run bikes. They come equipped with mini little Iron Man arc reactors, which I think look really great. I also love all the details and Easter eggs for the PIM Quantum Racer vehicles. We have a nod to the Wasp Hope Van Dyne's Foundation from Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. I totally love Ant-Man's vehicle, as there's clearly a story being told here. It looks like this is supposed to be Cassie's car, since Scarlet Stinger is likely a nod to her superhero name. But Scott has made some modifications, as evidenced by this duct tape that says Scott Rules, the XCon sticker, And perhaps the best of all, a sticker reading World's Greatest Grandma, a nod to the trophy Cassie gave him in Ant-Man 2. If Imagineering can get Michael Pena to deliver the safety spiel for this ride, I will take back everything I said about how mundane it originally looked. Lastly, we got a glimpse at the Groot Galaxy Spin ride vehicles, which are mini Xandarian Star Blasters. And even though this attraction is very basic, it's pretty much Dumbo, I give Imagineering credit for all the weathering details they're putting on the vehicle. Moving right along, let's talk about Moana. Ahead of the Polynesian village's new island tower opening at Disney World on December 17th, Imagineering offered a new look at its Moana-themed splash pad, which is called Moana's Voyage. And I had to point it out because it looks so good. It looks like Moana jumped straight off the screen and into reality. And my favorite detail is that she's facing the Magic Kingdom, having set her course for the castle. Since the beginning, Disney has somewhat alluded to a subtle Moana theme for Island Tower, but in the months since then, they have leaned more into the Moana theme, and I think that could be strategic since Moana 2 is releasing in theaters just a few weeks ahead of Island Tower's debut. Very curious to see if there's any cross promotion between this resort and the film. All right, let's get to the bad news. New Disney World ticket prices. Disney raised park tickets across the board for Walt Disney World. Again, I've been made aware that my annual pass will now cost $100 more now than it did last week. And I usually don't dive into price hikes because, one, it's depressing, and two, I don't do math. So I'm going to approach this topic from a different perspective, which is what this has to say about the state of the Disney company. I get inflation, it raises the prices of everything, but Disney doing this now, right before the holidays and with Epic Universe opening in May, it tells me Disney really hasn't learned anything from recent years. And while Bob Iger appears somewhat more concerned about the company's reputation than Bob Chapek did, reputation is clearly still not the company's top priority, especially as long as people are still willing to pay these prices. I also have to wonder how much of a role Josh D'Amaro plays in all of this, not just Iger, but anyway. This increase confirms to me that Disney is targeting nostalgic adults, not families and kids. If you think about it, adults dominate the ads for the Disney Store and new merchandise lines. There are more new lounges and bars at the parks these days than there are new character meals. Instagram-worthy food is the driving force behind festivals and special events. And this summer's new addition to Disneyland's Avengers Campus was Deadpool, an R-rated Marvel character known for adult humor. This shift in demographic focus is a big deal. It's significant because Disney used to be the company of the long game, where your experience as a child is why you came back years later and brought your own kids. Will the next generation of adults have the same Disney park nostalgia as adults today? Probably not, and this is only further exacerbated by the ticket price increases, as many kids may now never get in at all, and if they do, will the cost of entry bar them from even experiencing park attractions due to all of the paywalls? This is something previous generations didn't have to deal with. There's no record of how things like Lightning Lane will impact the company a decade from now and beyond. This is why it's a short-term strategy, and I'm very interested to see how this new pricing, coupled with Epic Universe opening in May, will impact park attendance next year. So that's the bad news. Let's switch back to some good news and a Disney vacation destination that, while also expensive, remains unaffected by the Lightning Lane lunacy and paywall pandemonium, and that's Disney Cruise Line. Today, which is October 24th, was the delivery ceremony for the Disney Treasure, where the ship is welcomed into the Disney Cruise Line fleet from the shipyard. This means the Treasure will soon be making its way across the Atlantic, and here's some news for you. The christening ceremony for the Disney Treasure will take place in New York City, either November 19th or the 20th. And this means we'll be getting some new looks inside the finished ship very soon and before the public step aboard later in December. Lastly, I promised you dessert, and here it is. Disney revealed its menu for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and I usually don't get into the different treats that are constantly being introduced into the parks, but one new item that deserves, if not demands, to be talked about and made a staple park treat is this year's pineapple orange guava float, aka a Pog Juice float. If you don't know, Pog Juice stands for pineapple orange and guava juice. It's a cult favorite at select Disney restaurants. It is definitely addictive, way too hard to find. And again, I hope this becomes a regular item in the parks, not just a holiday exclusive treat, because I would consider buying a party ticket just to get this. But that is not all. I have other desserts to talk about with you, and I'm referring to the long, and I do mean long, awaited cake bake shop that finally opened on the boardwalk today. In recent weeks, it has been criticized for its incredibly expensive menu, and rightly so, but I cannot deny that I am very impressed by the first looks we're getting of the restaurant's interior. It looks nothing like it used to, which it used to be the ESPN Club. And if you're going to pay a lot, at least they're delivering in terms of atmosphere and ambiance. It looks like a blend between the Grand Floridian and the Palace of Versailles. And if the food is at least good or looks as elegant as the restaurant itself, ridiculous pricing aside, I still think people will go. Also, they're already decorated for the holidays, which that's a bonus, and again, a draw for a lot of people who love Disney Christmas decor. So that's all I have for today and this extremely varied news breakdown, ranging from my rantings about the company to my new favorite dessert to Tiana's Bayou Adventure comparisons. Just a heads up, I'm expecting a full-on Disney Park news blitz at the start of November due to D23 in Brazil and a Disney earnings call. Of course, I will share and analyze anything worthwhile that comes from these two events. But in the meantime, I would so appreciate if you would consider giving this video a like and subscribing. It would truly make my day, and I hope that you have a magical day.